Hello, welcome to IndieX 2020 Game Showcase. Today we have the game is the last show of Mr. Chardish, and we have with us Marcin, who is the game designer. Hello, Marcin. Thank you for
Hi,
coming.
hello. Hello, everybody.
So, the last show of Mr. Chardish. What can you tell us about the game?
Oh, it's a cool game, I think. I saw that people like it when I see the reviews after release. And what is that game? It's a strong storytelling game. We have a big focus on narrative, and this is a game where you are actress who visit to old abandoned theater and looking for some cues and for some answers. Uh, what happened? What
So,
what her decreased friend leave her in the theater, and she finds a mask, and wearing that masks, people players can go into the different worlds, represent the theatrical shows.
can we say that we're delving in memory?
Yeah, a little bit.
Gonçalo is already asking, show us.
Yeah, I think that when viewers just see the gameplay, just they get it.
Okay, I'll just run a couple of questions through you before we start the game, if
Mhm.
that's okay.
Sure.
So, when did you start developing this idea and this game?
Uh-huh. Um, our idea to that game strongly evolved. We started from something completely different. We didn't have a theater. We didn't that kind of gameplay. All we only know that we want to uh, mm, tell the story through the gameplay and through the shorter episodes inside of the game, like we have right now shows. And the time when we just started do that concept of game, it was I think 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago, okay.
Yeah.
But you had the story was well set in your mind, the story, and then you went to work on the mechanics, or the mechanics and the gameplay, or the story was also evolving throughout the development.
No. um, all of that things evolved, and we plan to connect the gameplay mechanics and the story really close. For example, um, on the beginning we know what happened in that theater, um, and we thought what the main character thought in that time, what he felt, and we want to um, create gameplay um, which can be metaphor to that story. And when the player just play on it and feel, as you will see on the first spectacle, um, that what you do in exactly on particular level, it's connected to the story. So uh, we uh, when we had that story, we just trying to find out gameplay to that, and when we find out what gameplay we want to achieve there, we come back to the story and we change it to fit it, and there was really iterating.
Okay,
process.
one was influencing the other and back and forth in that relation. Okay, that's kind of nice. So, and the game will be out. Do you have any idea what is your release date?
Yeah, we released that game a week ago.
A week ago. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, you
Yeah,
did. And I got the. Sorry. So it's available on Steam. So
yeah, exactly.
if ever
We had release 5th November.
we'll be putting the link down in the chat.
Mhm.
And do you plan to have it on more platforms, or you also release it in more platforms than that?
Yeah, on the beginning we released it on the Steam, but we plan to release it also on consoles in the future.
And the other PC platforms like Epic and so on? No,
Uh,
nothing planned.
I don't know. Maybe it happened. Maybe it not.
Okay,
We'll see.
so just what were your goals and intentions when developing this game? Since it's so heavily narrative and
Mhm.
so focused on the narrative, what were you aiming for?
Yeah. Um, you know, we want to make that game personally, I think, and just make some story which can show people what problems can artists have, and just give people a little a little bit think about how much you can do, how much you can spend effort to do something what you can call after that as a masterpiece. Um, Before you put some for some heart.
Okay. Did
Um,
any of you was related directly to this kind of art?
yeah. Yeah, because on the story, they're artists. They're working like this is small theater. There people were there worked was like a indie game studio, but it's not working a game, working performances, working spectacles. So we can relate it, and we put to game some story of small group of people who want to make something cool. So sometimes they do something more profitable, but it's can't uh, be some as successful, satisfied like something more ambitious, but that more ambitious thing uh, mm, needs more effort to put into it. So yeah, we want to show that that point of view to people, and just let them think about. Um,
Okay.
I don't want to
Okay.
tell too much because
Okay, I will go to the game as I ask you another thing, but I will get the game going,
Mhm,
and we'll see with our own eyes what is going on in the last show of Mr. Chardish.
mhm.
I must say the artwork is beautiful.
Thanks. It's not my role because that graphics artists do, but thanks for all team.
Okay, so what I was about to ask you as we go through the games, do you have any story worth telling while you were developing Mr. Chardish?
So what happened during development, or what?
Okay, let me see what we're looking at.
Please enjoy the final interview, bringing our series, A Collection of Masks, to an end. Our guest is again a brilliant playwright, actor, and theatre director, the creator of such shows as Ascension and Labyrinth, Mr. Robert Chardish. Hello,
Henry, it's Ella.
Ella? Oh, Ella! Hello! Honey, Ella's calling. What do you mean, which Ella? Our Ella? Oh, stop it, you! How are you doing? How's the weather out there in the States?
Oh, you know how it is. Win some, lose some, never a dull day. But I'm not calling from the States, I'm here in England.
Oh, one could never keep up with you.
I'm staying in that yellow hotel. What was his name?
Wait, the one here? In Linfield?
Yes! I'm back. Actually, I have a small favour to ask. Do you still have a car?
Oh, yes. The same old one. Had it for 20 years now.
It's the only thing that still works. Could you give me a ride somewhere?
To the cemetery? I can show you which grave it is.
No. I wanted... I have to check out the theatre.
Ah, right. Of course. I can be there in an hour. Would that be all right?
Sure, Henry. You are wonderful.
It sure brings back memories, doesn't it? So much has happened here.
Sometimes too much.
Are you sure you don't want me to come with you?
Thank you, but I'd like to be alone for a moment.
Okay, we are arriving to the theater.
So, we meet again, Mr. Chardish. It's hard to believe that this is the end.
Isn't it? Time flies this fast only in the studio, on the stage, and with Sinatra.
It does indeed. Let me explain to the listeners who have missed the previous auditions that we've been meeting to talk about the major plays Mr. Chardish directed over the last 30 years. From the last one to the very first one, as well as about art in general and the bohemian lifestyle.
As long as I manage to stay on track.
Today our time travel takes us back to a theatre in the village named Linfield, the first stage you had to command by yourself. Before we start talking about art, let me ask, how are you feeling?
Well, I guess I should have seen that one coming, given the circumstances. I feel undefeated, and the prognosis is rather optimistic as well.
Oh, surely a lot of people sighed with relief of me just now.
I appreciate that. Sadly, people who expect to see me on stage will be disappointed. The doctors deny me any excitement, and for once in my life, I am inclined to listen to people who know better than me.
It must be difficult.
Everyone has to exit stage eventually.
So I'm just strolling around to show.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't read that handwriting. So you want to give us some context to this, Marcin, as I will play along?
So at the beginning, what you seen on the intro, Ella, the main character, which would you play in character, arrived to UK, to the British countryside, because there she 20 years before theater, that one, but something happened that she go away from that place, and now after a letter from her friend Robert Chardish, she decided to come back here,
And we have a hint that Robert Chardish is already in the graveyard.
exactly. But he left something for her in theater, and she come here to find out what he give her in that theater. What was his plan? Because he was artist. He was a really creative person, and he just don't put something her. He just set up all of that theater for her for some adventure.
Okay, so I'm picking everything. I suppose that I can take everything.
Part of that collectibles, what you can find in theater is to give you more mood of that theater life, how people lived in that place, how they work. And another parts of collectibles can give you more clues. What happened here? What happened with Robert? What happened with Ella? And what happened that that theater is not working right now, and it's abandoned.
Okay, we have music. Soldier.
If you know that notes, you can play.
I can play the piano?
No, I just say that it's like something what you can put in your real life.
Ah, okay, it's real. What is written is real. You can use it.
The most important here in theater is finding masks, because when you find the mask, you can go to the different world.
mask I must find here. There it is. Look at it from my perspective. April 13, 1957. Start.
I can't stand how empty it became. Nothing to do but listen to the rats and remember how it used to be.
Yeah, and in every spectacles you can find some collectibles to find more information about what happened in that matter. Like here, like you just
Okay.
activated that. And that spectacle is name of it it's Solitude.
That was the song, as the music that we saw on the piano as well.
Yeah, and in that spectacle we focus on the lights, spotlights,
So the light reveals.
and it's metaphoric. As I mentioned you before, we try to create gameplay in our spectacles connected to the story. And in the theater, when you are in the spotlight, you are visible, you're shiny, everybody looking for you, and you just exist in that.
You can be seen.
Yeah, but when the spotlights go somewhere else,
There you
you just
go.
disappear. You're in the shadow and nobody looking for you.
It's like you
because-
were never there.
Yeah, and we decide to put that feeling, that metaphor to the gameplay mechanic, and as you did before, when you put somewhere the spotlight, the objects just appear. But when you move that spotlight somewhere else,
But
it disappear like no matter.
now we are out of the theater and into a dream. Okay. There you go.
Well, I can say more. For example, here is a good place to see our art style. When you can see that that particular strokes of brushes, because we did a graphics to our game using VR technology.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we had just people who wear the VR glasses, headsets, and put into their hands the controllers and just brush all of that assets. No, hand painted.
Okay. This section of the game looks very much like a dreamlike thing.
Yeah, that first spectacle is most dark. I think most mysterious. It's referred to the robber's life. It's connected to his part of life when he feel like that, feel more more alone, more.
Which is something that every human would feel sometimes, solitude. There are different paths, they will lead to different places.
It's also some metaphorical, because when you look at that, you see that it's two roads, two ribbons, what just curving around each other themselves. But they sometimes, and in that case, they
end up in the same place.
Yeah.
Okay, that was convinced.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes you can choose different doors, but in the end you
will end up the same. Yeah.
Here is also another metaphorical thing, like taking spotlight to him, to Robert, to that character from different people, and they just disappear because he took all the lights for himself.
We've decided. 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 We've decided.
Okay.
We've decided. We've decided. We've decided. We've.
Again, in the theater. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
You wanted to shine. 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 To shine. To shine. You wanted to shine.
Yeah, and we wanted to make every spectacles different. And for example, when someone look at that gameplay, and in different situation they look to gameplay from other spectacle, they probably can even not guess that it's from the same game, because we have different characters in the different spectacles. We have different settings, different gameplay mechanics. Here you just do something with the lights, but for example, in that second hour spectacle, you are a robot, and you can take control to another robot. From another spectacle, you are a musketeer, and you can just fight.
Okay.
In,
And-
in, other one, in the other one, you can fly. So, you know.
So at the moment I'm playing Act 1. Will I see that change?
No. It's Act 1, it's have only the first
The
spectacle.
Solitude.
For if I had a friend.
The other spectacles are later.
But we can expect different things happening in different spectacles.
Exactly.
Oh, there's the audience.
But the same to all of that spectacles is that we focus on put a lot of narrative them.
Sorry, I didn't get understood it, Marcin.
We put a lot of narration elements here, and in Solitude, in that spectacle, it's pretty silent in comparison to different spectacles. Because, for example, in the second one, in Symmetry spectacle, where we have that robot, we have two characters, and for a whole level, they talk each other, and you know it's really funny, I think.
But always from the perspective, we'll be taking the mask and we'll go through the perspective of Robert Chardish.
Exactly, because Robert wanted to show Ella, how he saw that things would happen in the past, and he trying to just, I think, explain her some his point of view on that time. So yeah, in theater you play as Ella, but in the spectacles you play as a Robert.
So it's a character telling a story to another character.
It's a funny story of development of that part of level, because on the beginning I made here as hard puzzle that even I can't go straight forward from that puzzle.
Really?
It
Okay.
was like, maybe it's too hard.
So that was what I was asking you when I started the game. A story like that.
You know, when we designed that game, we had a lot of some
Oh, yeah.
sometimes when, for example, when we try to figure out how we want to make gameplay in that episode, because we know what we want to tell the players. We want to what was that part of the Robert's life, and we're thinking about that spotlight. And it was like drawing on the sheet of paper, a lot of different sheet of papers. Maybe that, maybe. And finally, we find out.
But your goal was not to create hard mechanics, but to tell the story and have.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to focus on the story and put everything to connect to that story.
I wanted to have everything under control, but that's not how life is.
We didn't want to, find out some cool mechanics and think, okay, it's a cool mechanic, and we need to put some story to that. No, we had the story. We wanted, we know what we want to say, and we're looking for defeatable gameplay to that.
Okay, that makes sense. So Martin, we have a question from the audience. Nuno is asking, how did you choose the different aesthetic scenes for the final game?
How did we choose? On the beginning, how would maybe I tell how it happened that we decide to use that VR technology, that software named Quill, to make graphics to that game. We're looking for something what can looks cool, and also what can make our life easier and make that stuff, that art assets faster. And we saw on one Facebook group that people do really cool whole scenes. For example, tree, that valley, and two people sitting near the tree, and it looks cool. And people write that, yeah, it was created in 30 minutes, and we saw what 30 minutes whole scene.
I want that.
How they do that? And we try to test that technology. We
the good thing is it at the same time it creates an identity to your game itself, the aesthetic, this kind of artwork. But not it's everything is done like this. You have assets that are drawn differently, right?
We wanted to make separate visuals into the theater where you were before, and there is semi-realistic graphic, and to the spectacles to make it more painted, I think. And that technology that painted in VR was for us really cool, because that effect was like someone just put the stroke of brush and just paint all of that world. Yeah, but because I think nobody before tried to put graphics from that software, that kind of technology into the game. We had a lot of research how to do it properly, and make it, looking cool. So
Okay.
yeah, make it shorter.
He would sleep in the theatre like the old days.
We
if I
tried
say so.
to
But he
find
still
out
drove there every
some
day, insisting
unique
he had to fish.
art style, and we tried the new technologies to make it faster. In one case it was faster, in another wasn't.
I was going to ask you about that, how it worked out in the end, because if you are investing much time in the research and learning the process, you will invest a lot of time, of course.
Hmm. Yeah, I will have a whole talk about it on JC next week. So I invite you.
Okay. Do you
to
want
watch.
to drop us the link for that?
Uh, Wait, I can find it. Put it on the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, I'll find it. Oops. Oh. Okay, it's working. So I put it in on the chat. And I lost the topic. What do you ask before?
Oh, it was about the aesthetics. We're going through that and why you chose these aesthetics for the game, and the scenes.
Yeah, so we chose it because we wanted to make it unique. Looks like making by painted, making by hand, and we tried the new technology to do that, and I think that it comes out really cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting in itself. Only the application of the technology. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever heard of a game being done
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, we're looking for that. We want to look to each other how they do that, but we didn't find it. So maybe we are first.
It will be you teaching the other people online. Okay, this is how you do it. Okay, what am I
Do you need
missing?
an advice?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Tell me.
Go on the down, on the right
Oh, okay.
here, and put that light a little bit forward to right. That'll be okay. No, too much, I think.
Too much?
But okay, leave it. And the second one spotlight put on the left.
Yeah. Yeah, do it. That did it. I was also distracted thinking about the VR technology. I'm really enthusiastic about VR.
Playing and thinking at the same time. It's not what the human
This
was
was your desire.
constructed.
This was your desire.
Can I die? Can I lose?
You shouldn't, but yeah, I think that you can jump away, jump down. Look for the light.
For the light. It's light there.
This was your desire.
Yeah, I'm curious how do you do that puzzle? Some people just make it in 2 seconds, and another one
Get-
trying to do it in few minutes, and they don't have idea how to.
To do it. Okay. It's fair enough. Let's okay.
Yeah, I can say a little advice. You had to make stairs,
Stairs, yeah, to the right side, right?
right?
Yeah.
And you will have to jump.
Not like this.
Try to jump.
To run?
Try right now.
I'm missing some.
No.
Maybe
You
it's,
need
yeah.
to move it. I didn't see clearly. Don't move it.
No?
Oh,
So we already found
I think that
to which group of people I belong.
I think that you broke it.
I broke it. No, come on.
Okay, let's try.
That's not happening.
I remember when I did that puzzle at the beginning, and that technical people from my team just started screaming at me. Why you put so much assets working on light here? It'd be terrifying to the optimize it and and etc. etc. So sometimes when you design the puzzles, you have to think about you know.
Yeah, it's not easy to do so.
Yeah.
And that's the first mask.
Yeah, and you're back in the theater.
Yes. So Marcin, we're about to run out of time. What would you like to share about the game that we didn't speak already?
So I think that the best way to check out to get all of that game is just check out it because it was released 1 week ago, and just playing on it, it's the best way to get know what the game is. I think.
It's a very good looking game with so far I didn't play all through the game, but so far it's very curious the way that you have the narrative unfolding. Very nice mechanics. And you can try it on Steam with Act 1. Is it available for test?
Yeah, Act 1 is like a demo. It's for free.
Okay.
You can play on the full game also.
Okay, so there you have
I
it.
think that the next part of the game is better than the first one, but it is my personal opinion.
Okay, it has six acts with 6 masks.
5.
5? Okay.
5 different spectacles, which make that whole thing, whole story.
Very nice. So Martin, I think we'll end it here since I finished. Or do I have anything more to play now?
Okay. So thanks for playing in our game.
Thank you very much for coming and to show us this incredible game. I will hope to see you on this talk that you will be giving because I was very interested in this use of the technology.
Sure.
So all the best for your game. Thank you and see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye.